This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
Is it 20 years or is it 40 years? Let it be 100 years.
Sexual abuse among children often goes underreported for years or sometimes decades. That's why more than a dozen people testified on behalf of a bill today that would extend the statute of limitations for civil lawsuits. That is tonight's Channel 2 News big story at 5:30. Now, if approved, Assembly Bill 145 would give victims more time to take civil action against their aggressor. Good evening, I'm Landon Miller.
I'm Kristen Remington. Thanks for keeping it here tonight. The bill would change the statute of limitations from 10 years to 20, starting when they turn 18 or once they discover physical or emotional injuries related to the abuse. Paul Nelson joins us here in the studio after attending this morning's committee hearing. Paul, why do so many cases of sexual abuse go unreported?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why, Kristen. Experts say some children are ashamed or afraid, while others may have been threatened by their assaulter or don't even understand what's happening. So if this bill passes, victims will have until their 38th birthday to file a civil suit and possibly later.
I was ashamed. I've never told my family ever, and I'm 73 now.
At the age of 13, I was sexually assaulted. It took me 25 years to come forward.
And it's the first time I've spoken out about my abuse as a child when I was 11 years old.
One by one, victims of child sexual abuse testified in favor of extending the statute of limitations for civil actions. Attorney Gloria Allred spoke on their behalf.
Where are the children who have kept a secret of their victimization?
When my sister mama, Gloria, said, "Where are the children?" my hand goes up. 6. I was 6 years old the first time I was sexually abused by a grown man who was my brother.
Linda Kirkpatrick says she was also sexually abused by a neighbor when she was 15. 45 years later, she's finally talking about it.
Putting myself out there today, speaking of things that happened to me when I was a child that I've never done in a public setting, I felt completely vulnerable and naked, but willing to do it for others because I can't do it for my child self.
The bill would also extend the statute of limitations for victims of child pornography, and victims would be able to seek damages 20 years after the verdict in a related criminal case.
Sexual abuse of our children must stop. Victims deserve to have justice and closure.
Nobody testified in opposition today. Those in favor say the bill would hold abusers accountable and give victims strength to come forward.
It would help to empower victims and will assist victims to become survivors.
Experts and victims say PTSD and other psychological issues related to sexual abuse can last a lifetime, and that's why they support this bill.
Give us a fighting chance because we, victims, have a life sentence of the crime perpetrated against us.
Kirkpatrick is also one of dozens of women accusing Bill Cosby of sexual assault, which she says happened when she was 24. That case helped change the statute of limitations for criminal sexual assault also to 20 years. Covering the 2017 legislature live in the studio, Paul Nelson, Channel 2 News.